Are we recording?
We are recording.
All right.
Do you remember what you say? Because I don't really.
It's just going to come to me.
Yeah. Muscle memory. Larynx memory.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the You Can Man podcast, episode 108. I'm Josh.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Dave.
And on this week's episode, my wife thinks I'm Tom Silva.
Welcome back to the You Can Man podcast, where we believe what one man can do, you can do as well, but you got to have help from your friends and the proper know-how. You know, guys, it's been since December, all right?
We've been hearing rumblings that people have been missing us.
You know,
I mean, honestly, 3 people
There
maybe,
were torches and pitchforks in my front yard.
Yeah.
So we're not going to let it die, but it might
You say that every time. You say it every time.
Well, it's been true so
and here
far.
It's been true, Dave. Come on. We have not let it die. And we've kept the Facebook group going. It's still hobbling along. There's people chiming in there.
Tim's the worst salesman ever. It's barely limping along, but you know.
Hey man, we still have like 900 something people in there, all right? So we've been meaning to do this for months and months. I'm like, hey guys, y'all want to record? Yeah, let's do that. And then it just doesn't happen. So finally we got it together.
You've been busy though. I don't want to, jump ahead, but you've been busy. So.
I have been busy on my bathroom renovation that's going on 6+ months now.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It comes at you quick.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
So we're going to definitely be talking about that, how my wife thinks I'm Tom Silva with all the ridiculous stuff that I'm doing on this bathroom. But we're also going to use this episode as just a catch-up time. So I got a lot of kind of just shooting the breeze stuff that I wanted to throw out there to you guys. Before we get into talking a little bit more about my bathroom situation.
Well, I was just looking at my phone.
That sounds really personal.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I was looking at my phone because I was thinking, man, I must have jotted down some notes, being on hiatus, being on sabbatical for 6 months and all, because a lot has happened. Paid sabbatical, obviously, but I didn't write anything down, so I'm going all off memory.
Well, that's where you're strong.
Yep. Everybody knows that.
All right. I'm going to start us off, guys, with one of just like the most gut-wrenching, I can't describe the feeling, situations that happened, all right? I was at the dump.
Oh, okay.
Now, we've talked about this before. Now,
you said you had more details for us.
Yeah. So the safety vest, that's another thing.
Well, you got to mention that. You got to tell the good people.
I will. I'll get to that after this. So our landfill, local
landfill.
The local landfill,
it's the dump. It's where you take.
It's the dump.
Yeah.
So it like forms like 2 lines. You got to wait at this stop sign, and the worker he'll flag you on. He'll say, okay, a spot has opened up and you can come on. All right. So I'm sitting there, another dude's next to me in some big old F-150 or something.
Real quick, those lines have been ridiculous. They've been ridiculous lately. I don't know what's going on.
They have, but
continue.
The day that I went, it wasn't that bad. So we're sitting there waiting. Sure enough, y'all, this guy can't back up his trailer.
Oh, that's always my biggest fear.
This guy in this like nice like 4Runner. And so this is like basically the guy.
I was going to say it fits. That fits right
like,
there.
Everybody's waiting on this guy, okay? And it's just like one of the worst. Like I've seen this happen before.
How tight were his jeans? Just want to ask.
I don't know. How was it a short trailer?
Okay,
that's extra hard.
It was a short trailer, so I will give him that. However, this was horrible. Like I've never
practice. You got to practice. If
I've
you're not
never
good.
seen it this bad, and it's just like that. Oh, it's just, I don't know what kind of feeling that is. It's like, oh, like okay, come on, man, you can do it, and he just like, and the worker is like, signaling him like, turn the wheel this way, turn the wheel this way, turn the wheel this way.
I call that the bad chills when I
know.
Yeah.
You won't even look. I'll turn away. I don't want to see. You didn't, dude, man.
The worker guy is getting real frustrated, okay? Over and over and over again. This guy's jackknifing his trailer.
This way and that.
I look over.
Hither and thither.
I look over at the guy next to me. And he's just laughing because, we're both like, look at this idiot.
No cameras out. I respect it if there was no cameras out.
I don't
dude. There was a bunch of men there.
Yeah,
right? Nobody's pulling a camera
there's
out.
decorum.
Yeah.
I'm proud
Oh,
of
I
that.
see what you're saying. Yeah, no, I didn't take a picture, but I'm like, man,
TikTok.
that could have been me, like maybe like 10 years ago.
I was going to ask you. You don't ever get a
25.
little bit nervous.
Oh no, definitely.
Yeah, I always get it. I've never messed it up. I mean, I'm pretty good at backing up a trailer. It just, I mean, it's kind of built in.
When I
get
went
nervous.
in there, when I went in there this time, I was just like, I am making this happen the first time.
Yeah.
But anyways, eventually, dude had to get out of his car. Another worker, maybe the supervisor, has to back up his trailer for him.
That's rough.
Oh,
But yeah, when
you
you said Forerunner, I was like, ooh, yeah, it kind of fits. It's
Man.
what it would have been on my top three
Also,
guesses.
Were there any witnesses with him? Do you know? Like,
I think it was just him.
Okay, well, that's good. Good for him.
I think he was just dumping yard debris too, which I'm like,
You don't need to be in that line.
rookie move because you could have gone down the road and dumped that for free.
No, just put it on the street, man.
Well,
Yeah.
Trash will pick it up.
we
It-
just
Depends.
we throw it in the woods.
There's something to be said though about the short trailer because I rented a a wood chipper. Rented a wood chipper, and that's about as short as you can get. I usually get it into my driveway like the first try, but that one I had to pull back out, and I'm like, because that thing's short and it'll get sideways on you
real quick. Yeah. So the other thing about the dump now is, so you check in, you got to weigh in first, right? You go up to the thing, you show them your ID so they know who you are when you go out, when you go to weigh out. And she's like, you got a safety vest? I'm like, no, I do not have a safety vest. And she's like, you got to have one. And she just go ahead. She hands me a safety vest. She's like, there'll be $1.25 added to your charge when you go out. And I'm like, all right, now when did this happen? Because
You fought it. I'd have been like, fine.
yeah, I'm like, it's kind of one of those, like,
I've been here 20 years.
I've never had to do this before.
Yeah. So I'm like, this is the first
I've
I've
been
heard
a
of
Cobb
it.
County resident for 40 years.
Yeah. And apparently it's a new thing. So I'm like, whatever. This is ridiculous. I'm ticked that I got to wear this stupid safety vest. And so I get out of the car, I put it on, I look around, and there's like only a couple other people wearing these. And I'm like, now hold on a minute here. And so I asked people next to me, I'm like, did they make you buy this stupid safety vest? And they're like, no, man. I was like, did they ask you about it?
You went through the
No.
rule follower line. That lady was on it.
It was the same one. I was like, were you on the right or the left? And yeah, he was the same line as me. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So I kept it on because she said, you're not allowed in unless you're wearing it. So I'm like, all right.
And the
whatever.
prison's right next door. You don't want to.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
That's a short drive. Thankfully, I've always got a vest and a hard hat in my car for such an emergency. Just pop it
Nice.
on.
And so I'm going to weigh out, and I'm like, all right, now look, I don't want to pay for this. I don't know what I said, but I got out of paying for it because I was like, look,
Tim,
half the people
give
weren't
that-
wearing them.
Man, that lady, she's just trying to earn an honest living, keep everybody
No.
safe.
No.
You're not going to give her
it's our tax
$1.25?
dollars.
No, she was like, well, I will make sure that I send word that everybody needs to be wearing that vest. And so I'm like, okay. I'm like, look, and I even looked up on the website too, just to cover my bases. Nothing on the website about it. I was like, look, it's not on your website. All right. Anyways, I got that $1.25
Taken off. It was removed.
taken off.
That's funny you say that. I think pre-COVID, like pretty soon before COVID, I think I texted you guys this. I went to the dump and they handed me a vest and a hard hat,
You wore a hard hat.
like a community vest and hard hat.
Yeah.
They're all over the
And I was like, what is this? And they're like, new policy, everybody. But they had them like community vest
They
and
had a
hard
bucket.
hat. And I don't remember if I actually wore it. I think it might have just sat in my car while I unloaded. But then COVID hit and it went away. So I guess that is creeping back on because we need more rules.
It's just
all
the
COVID rules.
it's the continued, rounding of the edges of society.
Right.
It's not going to
Right.
stop.
We will conform.
And I told you guys this. I think we're probably going to go to the point where you can't even unload.
I think you're right.
Like, you can't even be a man and
throw a 2x4 through a TV.
I know,
Yeah.
right? They're going to say like,
Shame.
we're actually going to charge you $10 to unload
Yeah,
this.
you're gonna
for
have to have a reservation and everything.
Yeah.
And it's gonna
I
be
mean, I
crazy.
could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
What is this world coming to?
If you can't throw your trash in a landfill, what can we do?
My best dump experience at the landfill.
I mean, what are we talking about here?
So it was at in Cherokee County. So listeners out of state. So we're in Cobb County. It's part of Metro Atlanta. Cherokee County is a little bit further out. It's just north of us. Parts of it are still kind of rural. Anyways, I don't know which landfill this was, but I was dumping stuff there. And I mean, it is straight old school. They're like, just go up the hill. And like the hill was a pile of trash, like literal, like I'm driving on.
You go where the garbage trucks go.
Yeah. Because our landfill, they have like a
Sorting center.
sorting station kind of thing where a big,
You get a dozer out there and they push it all.
they push it all away. So there's like a covered pavilion thing is what we dump our stuff into. But this, I'm just on the landfill, and he's like, get as close as you can to the machine or whatever. And so I just keep backing up, and I'm just on this massive pile of trash. It was really fun.
That's kind of
Yeah,
awesome.
we went to the one in Forsyth, Josh, and I think it was kind of like that too. It wasn't as, high society as the one in Cobb County is. But yeah, landfills are fun. It always does blow my mind that we throw away a lot of trash. Like every house, you got tons of trash, especially when you get kids, so much trash. But you don't ever see it anywhere. Like you have landfills, but where does it go? Like it doesn't get bigger, I don't feel like. I just feel like at this point we would just be spilling over. But we're not.
Well, no, I think that our landfill's actually been full. I think that all of our trash in Cobb County is going elsewhere now.
I think I've heard that.
Yeah,
I know, like in
Cherokee County.
like in New York,
Probably.
New York City.
Oh yeah, they
It's
put that.
all trucked out.
Yeah, they
Like,
put it on a barge,
yeah.
and yeah.
Who knows? Ship it to China.
All right, another thing, guys.
Well, hold on. Wait. We need to take turns here.
Okay,
Jeez, man.
well,
You've been
you
going
said
for
you-
like 10 minutes.
You said you didn't take any notes.
Well, no,
Dave.
I don't need to take notes because as Josh insinuated, I got a mind like a steel trap. Don't give me some feedback on that. You have,
Didn't he?
you know how
didn't say feedback.
how great my memory
I
is.
complimented you.
Anyway, Tim, I got a bone to pick with you,
Oh,
being the unofficial Harbor Freight spokesperson, right?
what'd you buy?
Well, I've been on a little bit of, I wouldn't say a Harbor Freight kick, but I'm not going to disclose the location, but we have one that's convenient to us. At the time when this happened, I was like, I'm totally going to out him and I'm going to say the guy's name and everything, but I'm not going to do that. But no, I've been going to Harbor Freight. If you, our loyal listeners out there know that, I don't trust Harbor Freight stuff. Like I got some Harbor Freight jack stands, I think that Josh bought. Maybe they're at your house
Yeah,
now,
that
but I'm
makes
like,
sense.
I'm not getting into those. Ooh, I have a Harbor Freight, a really nice jack. Whenever I use it, look, I just get a little nervous because it was like, $17 for this 200-pound jack or whatever. But anyway, no, I went up there and I can't remember what I was getting, but it was in the evening. It's 7:50 in the evening, and I walk in, door opens. Look, I worked retail for 10 years, so I know what it's like. So it's later in the evening. I look at the hours on the sign. I'm like, okay, they close in 10 minutes. I'm going to be in and out, right? So I walk in. The guy says, hey, can I help you? I said, I'm looking for a tire iron. That's what I needed. And he's like, they're right over here. We close in 10 minutes. And I'm like, dude, like that's not how you do it. That's not some customer service right there. Like I said, I worked retail for 10 years, and there's a way that you give people the impression that it's time to leave. Like you lock the doors really loud, ka-chunk, right? And maybe you turn off some of the lights. You don't tell somebody, hey, we're closing in 10 minutes. Like I was like, you know what? I don't even want this piece of crap tire iron. I turned around and I just walked out. I'm like, I'm not doing it, man.
Oh, wow.
Don't be telling me you're closing. First of all, I know. Okay, I can read the sign. Second of all, I'm not going to be like those other people. I know he doesn't know it. But it just sent me
You
over the
should've
edge. I was
given
like,
him-
listen, sir, I will not be buying the $6 tire iron from you tonight. I'm leaving.
mean,
You should have given him the business right there.
I didn't give him the, I'm
You
not
should
a,
have just said,
I should
here's
have.
how you could do it, Just say, hey, I appreciate that you're trying to get it closed.
yeah, I was
I'm-
not that cool right
This
at
is
that
the
moment.
only thing I'm getting. In a diplomatic way. You don't have to tell me.
I would have rather gone and,
As a customer, that offended me. You could say that.
gotten really mad on the internet and been a key banger and just typed out a really angry message, or gone on my syndicated podcast and talk some yang about Harbor Freight. Look, I might be a Harbor Freight convert because their stuff is this day and age. Good Lord, like everything is, it's just ridiculous. But man, Harbor Freight, they got some good prices there and seemingly some pretty decent products. But that guy, he's on my list.
This just flashed into my mind while we're riffing here. Have you guys seen the converters? You can convert a Milwaukee battery to accept the whatever the red brand Milwaukee tools are, the battery powered tools. There is an adapter you can buy on Amazon that will allow the Milwaukee battery to power a Harbor Freight tool. So all those like random tools that you'd love to have with your Milwaukee, you might be able to test it out.
Ooh, I kind of like that. I like that idea.
Test it out with the Harbor Freight
Because
tool.
I have stayed away from anything battery
Agree.
from Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
I don't trust it, so I've stayed away from it. I feel like I feel like the batteries may not be as good, but I also feel like, are they actually going to carry this same line on? I feel like Harbor Freight's always reiterating and changing up their stuff. It's like the same crap, but they'll call it something different. Maybe they change up the mount for the battery and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't want to.
Tim, you sound like me. You sound like me bashing Harbor Freight.
Everything else I'm good with.
So you know the tool, like you'll see a Harbor Freight tool, and you're like, oh, that's Cobalt. Like that, they're mimicking Cobalt.
Right.
Well, their line of red, I can't
I
remember.
never think Cobalt, but okay.
The red tools are
Snap-on.
They look like Milwaukee tools, and so I got to think. I was like, how close are they? Because they're ripping it off and then printing it in China, and there's an adapter. I don't know exactly what it does, but it makes the
pluggy works with the pluggy.
It makes the Harbor Freight tool work with the Milwaukee battery.
All right, look it up, and we'll post it on the Facebook group. Okay, do you guys ever park at Home Depot in the Pro parking spot?
Park my Honda Accord in the Pro.
I do it every time, and I was just thinking, I wonder if people got problems with this, because I feel like when I first did it, I was like, ooh, I feel weird about this, but now I'll just pull up there like pretty confidently. Hey, so I did that today. I was just wondering if you guys do the same.
You do it in the minivan?
It's funny you should ask that, because I was about to take the minivan today, and I was like, no, I'm going to park at the Pro thing, so I think I'm going to drive my old Explorer.
Taking the Exploder. I mean, that you can get away with it, but when I pull in there and the Honda Accord, I'm like, man, they know.
I bring my trailer. If I'm getting stuff from that side of the business, I bring the trailer. So I just pull in double spots.
I will say I've stopped parking. I park on the side, but not in that little Pro parking lot anymore. I'm not doing that anymore.
It's just easier in and out.
It is easier in and out.
I agree.
Yeah, because the lumber side at our Home Depot is on like that whole side of the store.
Right.
So that's where I'm usually going. Is
over by the tool rental.
Yeah, is over there.
Yeah, I mean, if it's slammed busy, if it's like the morning and it's like 6:45 or 7,
you'd be going.
And that place is popping.
You're going
the
over there at 6:45.
Yeah.
Dang.
But if it's jumping with contractors, I'm not parking.
Nah,
there.
yeah.
Like
I've become a little more respectful.
I'm giving them the opportunity.
You're giving them a berth.
Yeah.
So I was on a run today.
I wanted to talk about running.
How's that ankle? Your cankle?
I got back into it. It's all right. We can talk about running.
Tim turned his ankle and it was all black and blue.
Yeah, I passed a sign, a yard sign, and it said, "My neighborhood is a Karen." Have you guys seen this?
No.
So I was just like, okay, did this guy get really, really ticked off at somebody saying like, you got to do this or that to your lawn or something like that?
Oh, he's like saying a blanket statement to the people of the neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just like, all you people are ridiculous.
It was. I thought you were going to give us an acronym.
No.
It said my neighborhood is a Karen.
My neighborhood is full of Karens is funnier. But also the whole Karen thing, it was better when everybody says it now. And so it's just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like we need a new term.
We need a new name or
Yeah.
what?
I don't know. She's not funny anymore to me.
Yeah, but I want to know the story behind
It's
that.
very descriptive, though.
Yeah,
My neighborhood is a Karen.
my neighborhood
I would
is
not.
a Karen.
It
Maybe
was-
they're trying.
Was it handmade or was this like?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it looked pretty.
Because I'm thinking, I'm not moving into that neighborhood,
So,
but maybe that's the idea.
here's
they're trying to keep people out.
Here's my analysis on that sign. If it was kind of like homemade, handmade, I think there's an equal chance that that person is as crazy as the people
Probably.
he thinks
Well,
the Karens
yeah.
are. Like they're
It's like
they're
the
on
lady who
equal
takes
footing.
care of the flowers outside your. It's never normal people that do like the upkeep of, the landscaping right at the front of the neighborhood. When you don't have an HOA, it's always the crazy lady who
Wow.
does it. At least it is in my neighborhood.
That person that had that sign likely checks in on Nextdoor like
gosh.
at least 3 times a day.
We still need to have a dedicated next door episode.
Yeah, we do.
All right, so running while you're on it.
So back in
both of you have had injuries.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to get
year-long.
updates.
Yeah.
back in April, I just stupid rolled my ankle, and it was just somewhere really, really dumb. Literally, I just stepped off the sidewalk, and boom! I don't know what it was.
It was
Maybe there's
black
some
and blue, wasn't it?
divot or something, and totally messed me
Just
up.
felt that
for
bone hit the asphalt.
well over 2 months. So it's still kind of messed up. Actually, I'll still feel it, but I got back into running about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that. So kind of slowly reintroducing.
I did kind of the same thing. I just stepped off. I didn't roll it, but I just stepped off a curb wrong and landed. Felt like normal, or it probably looked normal, but just I got that. It's getting old, like old ankles, and it legit has been injured for a year, and probably in the last 2 weeks. So what I'll do is I'll tape my ankle up. I'll just use like athletic tape, and I don't know what I'm doing. I've watched YouTube videos, but I can never get it right. And but I'll use like half a roll of tape on there. So like my foot is just cast with my leg, and there's no
You're like a
movement.
linebacker.
Yes, and
You were in the Peachtree tape?
I ran the Peachtree taped up, but the last 2 weeks I've been running with no tape, and it's been pretty good.
Okay.
But yeah, it was not good for a long time.
Very
You messed
Get
up.
through it.
You like re-injured it when we were in Hawaii.
Well, I injured it training right before that, and then we went on the death march in Hawaii. We went up this, it was, what was it, 4 mile hike, but it was kind of a steep hill. And yeah, on that hike is where I just sent it over the edge, and it took old Davey about, I don't know, it took me a while to get back.
I mean, you did go. So we told everybody. We said, look, we're going to go on this hike. And then you didn't bring any shoes.
No,
to
I
do
didn't.
that.
I didn't bring any shoes because you're flying to Hawaii, and we only checked one bag. So there's no room for like hiking boots or anything like that, at least in my mind, because everybody else had them. So yeah, I bought some shoes there because you built it up in my mind. You're like, there's a river crossing, like you're gonna have to, wade through neck deep water and everything. So I was like, well, I want to get shoes that I can hike and walk through the water in. It was a terrible mistake. And they were like these slip-on jokers. They're still in the plastic bag. We got back from Hawaii, what was that, last August. They're still in the plastic bag that I put them in, like when I took them off that day.
Didn't you drop like $100 on those
I
things?
can't remember.
Dude.
That's vacation money.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't matter. I mean, inconsequential.
But yeah, back into running. Josh, what about you?
Body's feeling good, up in the mileage.
good, brother.
Thank you. And yeah, definitely put on some LBs in the year.
Yeah, I hear that.
But no.
You're getting back. You
getting
got
back.
some
I'm getting
sights
back.
on a half.
Yeah.
Woo.
Trying to. We'll see. I'm just taking it easy. I'm taking it easy. Once I've hit 40, I'm like, there's no reason for me to go fast.
That is 100% true. Like that whole, I always wonder what the whole max heart rate thing is. 220 minus your age is kind of the general formula.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, look, I can go way beyond that. And I'm like,
What
do
is
you
your
really?
max?
I mean, I don't know, but I can get it up to like 195,
Oh, dang.
198 maybe.
Dang.
But I don't know. I'm like, is that recommended? Like you shouldn't be going
You
over this
shouldn't do
number?
that. It does. You're doing more harm than good, I think.
I don't know
number.
about that.
I think I'm like max.
just looking into
max
it today.
like 185.
That's big time.
I don't
which
get it
is
up there.
normal.
Yeah, I don't get it up that high often. Like if there's a race, I'll get it up into the 190s. But just training,
Dang.
yeah, man.
Never. When I was just doing my zones today, since now I'm like 40. And
if I do that zone stuff, dude, I'm walking. I have to walk.
But 180-ish is our age.
Yeah.
Max heart rate. I don't really get in there, even in a race. Like I may touch it for a second.
You don't know this. I creep on your heart rate data on your runs, and because like we're connected on the app that we use or whatever, and so you can look at that stuff. But I'm like, it bothers me because I'm like, man, I know everybody. It's just a genetic thing. Like some people have a higher heart rate, some people have a lower.
On my ancestry.
All right, we
DNA,
we know. You're
on my
you're a Greek
ancestry
god.
DNA. It said you may have a gene that is like helpful for endurance.
Okay, listeners,
activities.
I apologize. I did not mean to get them going. Like, good Lord, we know you're great. You're great. Look, I get angry. I'm like, man, he's like freaking popping like 140 BPMs, and I'm up here at 175. Like, what the heck?
Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But what's the resting heart rate?
I'm
55 right now.
Yeah, I'm like right around usually low 60s.
Dang, I got you.
60,
I'm like in the 40s.
Whoa.
Too low is a problem. If you dip low 40s into the 30s, you're supposed to get checked out.
Oh,
if you're not like an elite athlete.
I mean, well,
in this room, he's elite.
That's true.
Although I ain't pushed it lately. I might go out there and see what I can do.
For resting?
No, or just running.
Okay.
Just running. Been taking it ginger.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got you guys kind of caught up a little bit.
I sold my truck.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big one. It's a big one.
Yeah. That's
pertinent to this podcast.
That's a big deal.
F100, right?
The F100,
dent side,
72 bumps.
I can't keep that junk straight.
Yeah, so I became an expert in all things F100. Learned everything about an engine. Got the truck to where it drove totally fine. I could take it 15 miles from the house, no issues. Brings me back every time. Next step to make it really awesome would be like a lift and
a new engine,
and that's just not.
Yeah, so we're pushing $8,000.
Opportunity cost on that. Not great for me right now. So I sold it. Best thing ever. I thought, okay, I'm putting a 1972 F100 on Facebook Marketplace. I'm gonna have to wade through the most. I can't put it politely.
Just
some interesting fellas who were interested in my truck. And no, I got like the first message I got. It was a guy who lives about 4 miles away. And we negotiated a little bit. And I was like, sold. Thank you.
Nice.
Sold it in like 24 hours.
I was proud of you because I was like, is it all sunshine and cupcakes that you're... you put on the listing, hey, here are the problems.
Oh, yeah. I'm transparent.
You got to do it.
Because otherwise you're just answering those questions in person, which is even harder to do.
And you said you were pretty much, minus your time, that is, you were about at a wash.
Yeah, I about broke even. I mean, I did a lot to it, but it's in the ballpark.
You think you'll ever get another one?
I'm going to call it and say no.
Not while I have kids. Young kids. Sorry. Not while I have young kids. Yeah. There's just, it's a bench seat. Like, I can take 2 of my sons. Gee, that's super fun.
It's a truck. Put them in the back.
Yeah. I have had all 3 of them in one seatbelt.
Yeah.
My wife
was not excited.
I have not seen people riding in the back of a pickup
Me neither.
in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I mean, that was common.
It was.
I saw it the other day.
Okay.
Where was I? It was very bizarre. I was like, not on like the highway or anything, but it was a place where I was like, oh, I wouldn't do that.
It's not a thing anymore. And I feel like it's never safe, but I'll bet it's more comfortable now. Like trucks are bigger. I'm sure they're more aerodynamic. I'll bet it's like before you'd sit in the back and it's just like, you're just getting beat to death.
Yeah, but now trucks, the insides are super nice.
Yeah,
so why would you be in the back?
That's true.
Yeah. And they've got like all these trucks are 4-door and, a lot bigger. All right. Well, let's get into my wife thinks I'm Tom Silva. All right. How much have I gotten into of what I've done on the bathroom?
Well, you talked my ear off about it. So.
Well, we haven't had an update in 7 months.
Yeah. Nobody knows about it.
Okay. So basically what has made this project ridiculous, first of all, is moving every single freaking fixture. Everything that could be moved plumbing-wise was moved.
So also big picture. You took your existing bathroom, gutted it. you stole a closet from your hall bathroom and you stole a closet from your hallway to expand the footprint.
And the closet in the bedroom.
And you were rocking
And
one of
the
these like
closet in
tiny 1960s little
Yes.
Right.
water closet, right?
Shower stall.
It's
Yeah.
like a
Toilet,
urinal.
sink.
It's the size of a urinal.
It was super tiny. I don't know what they were thinking, but they made the master baths in a lot of these old ranches very, very small. And so I took over 3 closets to increase the size way more than double.
Yes.
Doubled it for sure. So I had to do a lot of work before I even started on the bathroom because I eliminated the one of the master bedroom closets. So I had to remedy that. I think I talked about that before, how I did like IKEA PAX wardrobes.
Yep.
I don't know if I talked about that before. I'm pretty sure I did. But yeah, changing or moving all of the fixtures. And what was challenging to me, because I had never done it, was the drains. I haven't ever done drain lines before. You know, supply lines, you got the PEX, which this was the first time I had dealt with PEX, which now I'm like, okay, this is easy. I can do this. But at the time, it's like, I've never done this
Whole
before.
new ball game.
Yeah, whole new ball game. I got to research this, figure out, do I need PEX A or B or blah, blah, blah. So I got that figured out. But the drain lines, so I've got old cast iron. I'm pretty sure I talked about at least this part on the podcast.
Can't remember.
Maybe not. Maybe I posted about it on the Facebook page.
Yes.
But I tied in to the existing cast iron. So I went from the cast iron to PVC. So there's these boots that you use at the hub of the cast iron. So you've got to drill out all the lead that they use to connect the cast iron pipes. And each one of these joints that I did it at, I mean, it was easy, like half day. I mean, it took me took me that long because you're basically doing surgery. And where these things were positioned was like, I'm like, you know, crawling up in there. It was horrible. But anyway, so I finally got it. And then the other thing that took for freaking ever was leveling out my floor. So I took out the subfloor because I was like, I'm not doing
Not going
this.
to cut it.
Not doing this. If I am going through this much trouble, I'm going to replace the subfloor.
You took it down like to the joists?
Oh, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Build it upon the rock.
Yes. So for so long, I was like walking around on the joists. But I had to level out all the joists. So what I ended up doing, I borrowed Josh's laser level, which I have my own now.
Congrats.
You guys want to borrow mine because it's nice.
What kind you get?
I got an off-brand.
Oh,
no, I'm telling you,
Okay,
it's
with that junk.
from Amazon. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Hupar. Have you guys seen this? It's like the green. It's nice. All right. Anyhow, it's got the 3 lasers. All right.
That is nice.
Yeah. So I used Josh's laser level and figured out my high spot. And from one end of the room to the other end there, I was off as much as a little over 3/4 of an inch, right? So it was pretty significant. So I was like, at this point, I can't not do
it right.
this. Same thing happened when I was when I was restoring my Bronco. When I took the body off, I mean, all bets are off. It's like, man, once I took the body off, I was like, I'm never going to have this off again. Now I got to do all this crap.
Yep.
It was kind of the same thing. Once I took that subfloor out, I was like, I got to make this right.
No, you're different. When you talked about re-insulating your attic and you were like, no, I had to take all the insulation out and clean up there, and then I could sleep knowing it's clean. I was like, I don't feel like that. I don't have that feeling.
Well, there was a lot of rack.
No, I'd be all right.
Anyway, so I got 2x6s and sistered up pretty much every joist because, you know, every single one of them minus my high spot needed to come up some. But you guys know, like, you can't find a single frickin' straight board at Home Depot, like at all.
Spaghetti.
And so I got the straightest ones I could find, and then I took them over to a friend's house, and he's got all this nice equipment, and so he has a joiner. And so I had him run all those in the joiner. And then that way I've got these super nice, straight, flat edges.
So flat.
And so that's what took me for freaking ever, because there's like no support. You're walking around on the joists. I had a piece of plywood that I had down, but anyways, all of this stuff, guys. I mean, I'm just thinking the more work racks up. I'm like, somebody would have charged me like $30,000 to do this.
Yeah,
probably
easy $30K
to do it to that level.
To do it to that level,
and they wouldn't have done it to that level.
No.
You would have had to be.
Level.
You would have to be over their shoulder, being like, "I want you to do
there are
this and
guys
fix this."
that do it to that level, but they cost 30, 40, 50 for a bathroom.
So my wife, she doesn't really know any different, I think, and so she just thinks that, well, you can just do this. Like, I want the toilet moved over 4 feet. I mean, just do it.
There's a lot of background
Look,
work
these
involved.
are the people that are like, the recycling bin is full, and I'm like, because you didn't break down the boxes. Like, you have to break them down. Like,
what is with
I
that?
don't know what it is, but that's what we're listen, respectfully.
That's who we're dealing with.
We love our wives, but that's what we're dealing with here. Like, they just don't understand what goes into it.
Yeah, that must be like a universal
I think
thing.
they just don't care. That's what it is. They don't
just
care,
throw the boxes in their garage.
Yeah, but there's not much more that infuriates. There's not. I get so angry about it.
I've actually got my son
And I hold it
to
all
like
in.
break down some boxes.
That's good work for your eldest.
Give him that job. But yeah, just all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, and
Is she like, well, you can just do that, or you can just do that, like just
Yes.
assuming that you can, that won't be a problem, and you're like, that might be a problem.
To play devil's advocate, some of us, most of us in this room, have demonstrated that we're capable.
The
We're pretty
aptitude,
capable,
yeah.
and so they know our ultimate abilities. But yes, there is for us.
They don't know the Herculean
for me
effort.
at least,
that-
it's going to take me 4x amount of
Yes.
time compared
Yes.
to Tom Silva
How
to
many-
complete this project.
yeah, how many times do you guys? So your wife will say, "Can you do? How about we do this, this, and this?" And then you're like, "Well, it's possible. Like anything is possible."
yes.
Now, am I going to do that? Probably not.
Yeah, is it realistic? Probably.
I'm
It's
on
always the the wife walks in and she says, "So I was thinking," and you're like, right when that happens, I know that requests are about to be made.
First of all, I need $1,200 in tools. That's where we're going to start.
That's always the nice part. You save money and you get tools.
I have dropped some money on some tools.
Yeah.
And it is super nice to have that laser level that has the 3.
The laser level is very helpful. I'm curious to see yours because, like mine, you have to use it in the dead of night, and you have to, there are all these constraints because it's not very bright and it doesn't go up very high, and then you can't turn it this way, so you got to go up, and it's kind of annoying. But
No, mine's great.
I'm embarrassed of all the framing I did before I had a laser level.
Oh, I know. I think about that. I'm
up
like,
until 10 years ago, for a billion years, like that's how we were doing it. So I don't feel bad.
yeah, I don't know how I did some of the stuff that I did because I'm like, how did I get that level?
Plumb line.
I don't even know how I really did that.
Yep. Yeah. The plumb is what's hard. But anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they have laser levels that have that plumb dot on. Mine doesn't have that. That's like an extra thing. So like you got like the 3 laser, and then they'll have this other one that's got some sort of like plumb dot thing on it. Have you guys seen this? I don't know.
No. So where are you at with this project?
So where I'm at,
how much time is it? Are we 6 months in?
I've got a floor down.
Okay.
So there's that. Now I went also with the super expensive Advantech subfloor.
I don't know what you're talking about, but all right.
Tongue and groove.
Somebody doesn't watch the build show with Matt Reisinger. All right.
Like when I come home, construction's the last thing that I'm
So
to think about.
It's super quiet. I don't know, how do you explain this, Josh? I don't know.
You said it's tongue and groove?
Yes, it is. It is tongue and groove.
It's like a cement floor almost. Like
It
once you
really
get it all
is.
down.
I mean, so I glued and screwed that thing down, those
you
things
did.
down, and
House will burn first.
it's pretty sweet.
Ain't going to be no squeaking.
No, definitely not.
All right, you got floor.
Okay, I got floor
Got all your
down.
fixtures
Got walls up? You got
located.
drywall? Did you take drywall down?
I've done all my drains except for the tub and the shower because I'm going to drill the hole, after the fact. But I can reach those from underneath, so those aren't a problem. But I already did the toilet, and the vanities as well. So I got all the plumbing roughed in. I still have to do like the shower valve and like the tub valve and all that kind of stuff.
Have you hired anything out?
I have not hired anything out so far, but I'm going to have to hire probably a brick mason because I am relocating a window. So I boarded up a window.
Yeah, you got to get a brick guy.
Call my guy.
Yeah, I know
He
you
made
said.
my window invisible.
Yes, you said you had a guy.
That'll be nice. Your house is white painted brick, and so
No, it's blonde brick.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's
I didn't
not
know
painted.
that. I thought it was painted.
Yep. I just dropped like $530-something on a new window today. A single
Windows
freaking
are
window.
Yeah, they ain't cheap at all.
I got an awning window. It's going to go in the shower. So that was a whole nother thing too, because I'm like,
so it can go out.
yeah, but I'm measuring and measuring and measuring because I'm standing there and I'm like, okay, will people be able to see me? You know, so I'm like trying to figure out where that glass is going to start, and I think I'm
You
going
got to go waist area. That's where you want that window.
I think I'm going to be all right.
Nobody cares.
But I stressed about, what size window I'm going to get and all this stuff. So the other thing too, like when I went to Home Depot to order the thing, I got an Anderson 100 series window, like a new construction window, not, a insert window. And he's like, you want tempered glass or not? I'm like,
You got to.
Yeah,
you got to in that shower.
you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You
didn't do it.
Well, I almost did not do it. And then I texted my wife and she's like, yeah, let's just go.
How much more was that?
$100 more.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
worth
do
it.
it.
Think so?
I just hope you went with like a really weird shape so everybody
'Cause-
knows that this was, kind of an add-on
Yeah, the guy
thing.
said, like, I already knew that it was code, but he was like, yeah, it's code. He's like, how long are you going to be in the house? Like, I guess he was thinking, like, if you go to sell it and then somebody's got an issue with
Yeah,
it,
he's
not
thinking
me-
if you're going to be there a year, he's like, get the
And I
template. If
was
you're going to
just
die,
like-
You're
here.
like the funeral home director.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wheel me
Tim
out.
has said they'll take me out in
Yo,
the
no,
casket.
I told the Home Depot guy, I was like, well, I plan on dying there. So,
So however long that is.
yeah. But I went ahead and did it. And it's supposed to be, he said that they're quoting 5 to 6 weeks for this thing. And I got a standard size.
Oh, you're waiting on it.
I got a standard size. It wasn't a custom size. But he's like, you should probably give it like 8 to 10 weeks just to be safe.
Yeah, I remember we waited 4 to 6 for our windows.
Yeah, so I'm going
From Home
to
Depot.
I'm going to be waiting on that. But it's coming together. I've been building the wall in between the toilet room and the shower. So that was a whole nother ordeal too, because you cannot find freaking straight 2x4s. And just to let our listeners know that are in the Atlanta area, if you want engineered 2x4s, I'm sorry, no one has them, because I tried to find them. I even contacted the guy that was a previous guest on the podcast from Peach State Lumber, and he's like, "No, I don't carry it, and I don't know anybody that does." I called around to all these building supply places, and nobody had it.
Interesting.
I've never heard of them. I worked in wood construction a long time, not a long time, but several years, many years now, and I've never heard of. I mean, we don't expect
rising
that kind of
gears.
stuff. But you said that these guys who do these bathroom remodels use them a lot
Because they're perfect for tile work, because they're
so
flat.
straight. Yeah.
they're flat,
Flat.
perfectly straight. So there's two different kinds: LSL, laminated strand
Yep.
lumber, and then LVL, which laminated veneer lumber. Depending on the manufacturer, I don't know what the exact difference is on that, but it didn't matter. I couldn't find it, so I ended up going through a massive pile of 2x4s at Home Depot, trying to find
You
this.
just left them in the
God,
house.
I wish I could have just been
Dude.
watching at the end
Oh
of the
my
aisle. Been like,
gosh.
"There's Tim getting
Dude,
after
I
it."
went through a massive
I
stack
believe it.
looking for.
And it's not a big wall. You didn't
I just
need that many.
I just needed ones with one straight edge. So what I did is I went through the pile, found the ones with straight edge, and then I got the table saw and I ripped it a little less than 3.5. Okay. So I used the straightest side. I ripped it. And then I flipped it over and I decreased the size to a little less. So now my boards are like 3.25 and not 3.5. And then I ripped the other side. So that way I've got these like pretty much.
Did you
fairly
rip down the
straight-
base plate too to make it the same?
Oh yeah. The whole wall. I ripped down all these 2x4s.
I mean, I was thinking you can do this, before you said that, but I'm like, nobody's ever going to do that. Like, why would you want to do that? It's a
I
lot of
did in
work.
my bathroom.
Did you?
No, I did not.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about getting 2x8s and then trying to make my own 2x4s out of that. So you could be able to get like two 2x4s out of the 2x8.
That's like $73 a board or something.
Yeah, but I ended up just getting the 2x4s and ripping them. So
Dang.
Interesting.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there was a couple that I kind of messed up because you're dealing with 8-foot long 2x4s, and my table saw, which is my father-in-law's table saw, I don't even own one. I mean, it's decent for like a portable table saw, but
My neighbor's got
this
one.
is not some like, I'm always just like rigging some sort of outfeed thing,
Yeah.
and like it's
I hate it.
horrible.
I hate it.
Like I'm just like I think I'm about to get injured, but
No,
I'm
they scare
going to
me.
do
They
this
for real
anyways.
scare me.
Second most dangerous tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it worked out, and actually had to go back to Home Depot, of course, and got more. So I got to rip some more down. And
What's the most dangerous?
anyways,
Ladder.
Ladder. Okay. I mean,
Trick
yeah.
question.
All right. So based on number of incidences, yes.
And just death.
But
I mean,
just, I don't know.
paralysis.
It's not nearly as scary, right? Like you turn on that table
That's what
saw and
makes
you're
it
like
dangerous.
and you're like, there's no
what-
safety net.
that's what makes
I know.
ladders
You got a
dangerous.
false sense of security. I got it.
anyways, so that just to wrap.
So
it up,
what's
it's-
your projection? I need a projection on finish so that
Well,
we can
I mean, I
add
guess
30%.
the window is going to kind of hold things up a little bit because I guess I could do drywall. And I think I'm gonna. Y'all know me. I'm gonna hire drywall out because I really really dislike drywall work. So I think I can do the drywall, have the drywall stuff done, and then tile. And I think I actually am gonna hire somebody to do the tile too
Ooh,
because
I'm glad to hear that.
I
thought you said that. I thought I heard you
Yeah.
say that's smart.
I thought about diving into it and just
it'll
like
look
I'm
way
gonna do
better.
this, but.
It's the most frustrating job I've done.
Yeah, I mean, other guys listening to this probably like, dude,
Up to 10
seriously?
bathrooms, yeah.
I haven't done it.
It's a big bathroom. Tim's got a big bathroom
Yeah.
now. This ain't a closet bathroom.
I know I need to learn tiling, but my wife really wants this done now, and so
So how much longer?
I mean, probably
Commit.
probably 2 months.
2
I would
months.
think.
That's
bold.
yeah. No.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say that's very reasonable.
Well, I'm going to be waiting on the
I'd say Christmas.
window.
Well, we're obviously
If I was
adding up-
telling my wife.
we're adding a month or two probably to his timeline. So yeah, maybe it'd be a nice Christmas present.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. My wife thinks I'm Tom Silva. So you guys got anything else before we wrap up?
I have not been doing any projects like that. So
I buttoned up
kinda
my
quiet.
laundry room. That was a joke. My laundry room has been at, I'd say, 22% of what we've wanted for about 8 years.
isn't it wild how you just get to where you
It
live
just
with
gets
it?
part of the
Yeah, and you
part
don't
of the
even notice it
scenery. Yep.
anymore. I have holes in my ceiling for multiple years, and I don't even notice them
So
anymore.
it's 20. Yeah, we'd have it at 22%. We took it to 89%.
Good for you.
in a couple weeks.
All right.
And so yeah,
Is the
we
curtain
did
still up?
that. No curtain.
Hey.
For real door.
Nice.
A door really makes a difference in how
The
loud
sound,
your
yeah.
washer and dryer are. Added a utility sink, painted the room, painted the ceiling black because it's like an open ceiling. Because all of the house's utilities, all the bathrooms are right there above it. It's kind of nice. It's all open still. So yeah, painted that black, painted the walls, put some shelves in, built some pedestals for the washer and dryer, utility sink. It's good to go.
Good for you.
New
So you're
lighting.
done.
No, 89%.
I know. I said you're done.
Yeah, it'll be that. Like that's how we move.
Nice. All right. Well, I would say, we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think we will. Maybe we'll try to make it more regular, but being completely realistic with you guys, I mean, I think it's going
Let's
to
say
be.
once a quarter.
No, we need. Look,
Let's say once a quarter. Anything
I mean,
more?
I think
is
we need to wait until Tim's done with his project, and then maybe we can be more realistic about when we're going to record.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
But,
This is Q3.
Yeah.
right. So, well, I was going to say we certainly didn't do once a quarter this year, but
Yeah, but let's see.
yeah, we have new people finding the show too. That's the sad thing because I'll see our stats and people are hitting up our last episode. I was like, we can't end on an episode called "Is It Worth It?" Like we ended on that one. I was like, I can't end off on that. But this
Clearly
this
not.
This is not the
Here
end
we are,
either.
108.
Yeah.
Look forward to 109.
Yes, coming sometime. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next time.